Welcome back, everyone. Last time, you may recall that we met Rodri, the Lord Keeper of Ellis, during an unfortunate argument. That unpleasantness aside, Lord Keeper treated us to an excellent breakfast at his home. Very nice place. Very warm. The Lord Keeper mentioned the phrase, World Shaper. It struck a memory in me. And we now believe that all four of us were, or are still, maybe, World Shapers, united by this ritual of water that we all remember somehow. We still don't really know what that means, as it is the realm of legend today. We were prepared for the Goblin Market that is upcoming soon, with some charms of protection. We had some more prosaic shopping this morning as well, after breakfast, with Bronwyn taking us to the markets of Ellis. And I think we are all a little bit better outfitted now. Did you know that I can play the lute? I didn't know that. Even more surprising, Jessamine has excellent taste in clothing. All of us blown away. And now, we're bound for the Goblin Market.
The communion hall's come up a number of times, and if Bronwyn's going to mention it, then I'll at least walk to the building and take a look inside.
Yeah, go check it out.
Go check it out. Shall we, Will?
Yeah, let's commune.
Yes, and the other time I will spend in the garden, striking up conversations with Boulder.
Actually, as we're walking over, he sort of subtle voices to Kazzra, like, I want to see what the deal is with these communions, because
I do as well.
They keep coming up, and
in
particular, some of them are a little bit more strident, it seems like.
Well,
is anybody going with those two, or is there just
Jaxiron, Pertinax? Shall we all go commune together, or?
Yeah, it's a community.
Oh, I suppose. Why not?
Strength in numbers.
Like a community pool. How does this work?
You see Bronwyn kind of kicks back in the garden in the sun and goes, well, commune for me. I'm gonna take a nap.
Will do. Are you a sun, moon, or stars kind of chick?
You know, whatever keeps me from dying, so sure.
Yeah, same.
I mage hand a rock and put it on Bronwyn's forehead. Very light.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced.
No idea it's there.
3 hours later, what the?
And then I look over and one of my eyes winks at Boulder and walk out.
Yes. Later, you will not see this, but later when she wakes, there will be a stack on her forehead. But she's like, what the fuck? Boulder!
The mummy started it.
Yeah. So the communion hall is just off the market plaza. It's a mostly sculpted stone facade. So it stands out a bit amongst the more naturalistic architecture. But it is very beautifully constructed. You can see there's a lot of really like geometry that goes into it. It is almost sort of a pyramid in a way. It is an equilateral triangle, as you can see. Although one side does appear to be still under construction. And that side of it carries the insignia of the Order of the Stars. So the Order of the Stars is still very much under construction. The Order of the Moon and the Order of the Sun are both seem to be complete. There is one main entrance flanked by these really nice marble columns. And walking in, you will find yourselves in the main sort of wide hallway of one side of this triangular structure. And there are large double-sided doors, several of them leading in. The doors are inscribed with stars and the sun and the moon in different metals. The stars are engraved in this silvery blue metal. The moon is inscribed in gleaming silver that you don't quite recognize. And then the sun, of course, is inscribed in gold, as you might expect. The entire structure is very like a light gray to blush pink marble throughout. The doors to the Hall of the Sun are actually open. The doors to the Hall of the Moon are closed, as are the doors to the Hall of the Stars. You can see outside, there's a few clerics garbed similar to Tamsin. The garb of the Order of the Moon tends to be very practical and very light-colored, easy to bleach fabrics. You can tell they are an order of healers. So it is very much, if you see someone approaches the Hall of the Moon and one of the clerics puts a hand on them, you can feel the warm wash of healing magic and says, for more, you can overhear as you walk by. For more, please, Ellis has an established house of healing that has a much wider garden than we are establishing here. We invite you for more healing to come. Here is where we train the healers. So please come to the House of Healing and we'll help. And the older human woman just nods and says, thank you. Yes, I will do so. Thank you. Flanking the doors that lead to the Hall of the Sun are several desks and several lines of people and several clerics, unarmored clerics, but garbed in the sort of sun colors, sitting around and like inscribing things and listening and talking to people and things of that nature.
Doesn't seem like much going on here. Nice building, though.
The medals on the other doors, the doors to the other halls, or that were decorating the other insignia. There had been. I remember there was a journal that had. Oh no, that was for names of people. But I know that like there was a bunch of talk about experimenting with Serenite silver. Like, does any of that sort of align with any of this as far as like the way the metal looks, the way it feels, whatever information I have?
Yeah, I think it's a fair inference, but I'm not even going to make you roll for that. The Order of the Moon, that bright silver, there's something about that silver that seems more silver than silver. And it's a fair assumption that is probably Serenite.
Well, if there are other halls, then I assume that this is a public building, public space. We can walk around with the other halls. So I do a turn about the rooms, just keeping my eyes open for anything out of whack or out of place. I'm just trying to get a little bit of an understanding of this organization. And I wonder, is there a place where one clearly is supposed to commune?
Yes. So the doors lead to the halls.
Okay. And each hall, you can commune in each hall. So there's like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Order of the Stars, however, does have a sign that is basically an under construction sign.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous inside currently because they're not actively working. And so the door's not locked. You can peek in and see, like, it's got this, the slanted ceiling has this, it is not fully complete, but you can see it's this beautiful kind of plaster work of a night sky and stuff that's being processed. And there's really nothing else in the room yet. The Order of the Moon has, basically there's many desks, many bookcases, and lots of diagrams of anatomy and things like that. This is very much a learning area, although it does have a small moon altar in the back where one can kneel and pray.
That's where one communes then. Right.
Okay. One of the it's more of a worship thing. The communion refers to it as a community of these three orders. One of the clerics will tell you, if you wish to offer prayers or sit in peace with the moon, you can have a seat at the altar. There's a larger, more serene altar at the House of Healing, if you are so inclined.
Are these learning resources open for all to use who visit the building, or is only for those who are members of the church proper?
You can access any of the reading materials for free, certainly anything on healing that you wish to learn, you can learn as long as it is not currently in use by one of the students. If you are a student of the healing order of the moon, then you would be on our lecture rolls and you would have access to those resources. You'd be able to request things and things of that nature. But yep, and he just then turns back to his own sort of anatomical drawings.
All right.
I'm gonna go to whoever's like in the sort of the central space between where the doors, the three sort of sub temples are. Who, like, whichever priest or acolyte or what have you is closest to the middle of it. So if that's the sun people sitting outside the sun door, that's totally fine. I walk up to them and I'm like, I'm not from around here, and I'm learning more about this. When do you all commune together? This is a communion hall, so it seems like, when does that happen?
Oh, well, it depends on which. I mean, each order has its different preferred time of.
No. Sorry. When do the three orders? When do they commune?
Oh, there are.
Together.
We have larger rituals on the solstices. The solstices, the equinoxes. We have larger. We all do things together because those are times that are of everything.
4 times. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
Certainly. I mean, we may join each other's orders on occasion and various things. It's just, those are the set ones.
What about light from not the sun or the moon or the stars? What about when does torchlight commune?
Torchlight. That's funny. Well, it's the natural, the divine sources of light.
When is setting wood a light not natural light?
It's natural, but it's not a divine source of light. It is a mundane source of light.
Okay.
I sit back and I watch intently in this interaction as I hear Will question torchlight.
I'm not trying to provoke a crisis of faith in this person, but I'm not trying to provoke a crisis of faith in this person.
It's a young sort of clerk. And again, the doors to the Order of the Sun are open, and that leads to a long hall of gleaming white marble, and where the two walls, because the halls, so the building is an equilateral triangle, so the each one has its own equal triangular piece of this building, and where the two walls connect and the ceiling connects, there's this gleaming gold mosaic of the sun, and then there's many benches, and you can see many penitents sort of sorry, I used a Catholic term there. There's many people sitting on the benches, sort of, in various states of prayer, meditation. Roll me perception. Everybody give me a perception roll.
The Order of the Sun is the house of law. Like, they might as well be penitents for all that matters. So.
Yeah. Well, you can see here, and it takes no perception there, but you can see that the line of people lining up to the desks are people with legal issues that cannot be handled locally, that are pertaining to imperial law, like imperial taxes, and you hear a lot of tax appeals happening and things like that. So, what are our perception rolls?
11.
18.
I get my first point.
Yay!
Is that a natural 1 or a natural 20?
Natural 1.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of people praying in there. I don't know.
I go in. Yeah, no, I'm gonna poke my head in there and
that's
walk
fine.
Walk up to the front.
Pertinax, you will notice that one of the people in that hall you recognize from back at Redeemer Camp. The cleric who was lighting the fires, whose name that you recall is Karistan. Will. It's fairly obvious. There are low windows.
That's why I need people to tell me things. I'm good at that.
There are low windows. You can hear that there's some of the people sitting in the benches are wearing pieces of armor, and you can hear outside that there are people doing military training. And for a moment, the combination of standing in this gleaming bright space with the sound of military organization outside, this is going to trigger a memory for you. This bright space kind of fades for a moment into a different light-filled space with benches for worship and prayer. But the benches here are simple wood, and the benches in your memory, they kind of overlap until it takes over, are all white marble. And before you hangs a massive golden disc. It features a sun with a face in the center. The disc is flanked by two equally massive gold-trimmed marble statues. One is a slender, bearded man in a magistrate's gown holding an open tome in one hand and a scepter in the other. And the other side is a statue of a woman in a flowing gown wearing a tabard with a golden scale. On the floor between the two statues are 13 smaller statues of stone-carved hyenas at rest. You were sitting in this area, and recently you have been part of a lot of animated discussions within these hallowed halls between clerics and leaders, and it all centering around the undead. The undead are not to be tolerated. So why are they supposed to heed the words of the High Wizard of the Desert Winds? Why even tolerate these wizards' existence? And I think that this is something that is sitting with you that you were thinking of. And as you are, it is dawn, which is not your customary time to sit in here, I would think. The light filling the space is gentle, and beside you there is a young human man. He has reddish hair, bright skin, and he's wearing a silken tunic and loose trousers that seem to fade from a warm yellow into a deeper violet at his ankles. And he leans back and he says, "I know that it seems contradictory that I do not call for the eradication of the High Wizards of the Desert Winds, but there are always exceptions. My brother," and he waves to the statues, "does not allow for this, I grant you, but the sun at its highest and the law at its most lawful is often unforgiving. I see it more simply. The more they deny death, the fewer new lives they are offered. Balance."
But are we not taught that the form balance should take is to, once life is ended, it is ended? I feel like I hear you, but I also feel like the scripture is very clear on this, as clear as day.
He kind of leans his head back and laughs and says, "Scripture? Who wrote the scripture, Will?" Do you think I wrote that scripture? Do you think he wrote that scripture? What about the hyenas? Was it the hyenas?
Then
Scripture
what is the purpose of scripture if not to document the law and behaviors that we should adhere to?
Scripture is but one tool that the mortal understands the divine. That understanding can never be perfect. The divine is eternal. Mortals are not.
Will looks troubled by this sort of like sharp right turn from dogma.
This is a lesson that my brother's order has forgotten. But I have not. We are all connected, young one. Even if you do not see me as your lord, you know this. For the ability to shape the world runs in your veins. You know that connected. You are as connected to me as you are to them. And he gestures to the statues and even the hyenas. So heed me. Balance in all things. Think on it. And he cocks his head at the statue of the woman in the gown and says, and kind of elbows you and says, "He looks so much better with tits." And as the dawn lifts and the day rises, The man kind of fades with it.
Just the one? Just the one statue, or the person I'm talking to fades?
The person you're talking to.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. I was like, huh.
And I think with that, the memory will kind of lift into this similar but much sparser, less decorative, or simplistic space of worship.
They don't make them like they used to. Are there any hallmarks I can see from the iconography here that is similar to what I've seen? Like, I actually no, scratch that. I call someone over. Like, I call one of the, like, I look over to one of the priests, and one of them, try to catch one of their eyes to as if to ask them a question.
From the pews, the benches, you hear a voice call out to you and says, "Come, sit by me if you have questions."
I do.
Turn around, and there's that cleric that you now see and recognize as the cleric from.
Oh, from the camp?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. I go,
and he extends the invitation to all of you, if you so care.
Karis, right? Do I have that right?
I wander over.
Where are the hyenas?
In the desert, I assume.
Okay. This is not what I've seen in the past. This is different. I've seen in the past other places.
Interesting.
It's different.
Perhaps your people worshipped in a place where there's one of the old ruins. Oh,
Perhaps.
I forget the name of the sun god that they used to falsely worship.
Falsely worship? It's a sun god. Are they not all? Is there not one sun?
Well, we don't. Yes, but we don't believe in anthropomorphizing the sources of divine light.
Huh.
So then what is this, as Jaxiron points over shoulder to the icon that is clearly at the front of this chamber of worship?
It's just the sun. The sun does not have a face or a personality, or it is the sun.
Yeah, the one in my memory had a face. This one does not, which is...
That's a very...
Sorry, I do not say that part out loud. I was saying that for context.
Oh, what was it? There were several. There's the guy with the dawn, and then there was Aminator? Is that it? I don't know. There were a lot of them.
Having a face doesn't really... I don't understand your logic. An entity can exist without the presence of the features that you and I share.
Yes, he kind of contemplates this, and he's, speaking sort of in a lower voice, and as to not interrupt the prayers of others. And he says, "I do not profess to be a scholar, but it has long been forbidden, long seen as heresy. There are many things that are declared over time to be heresy that may not have been heresy at one time. And it's part of the problem. You four, you're going to the market tonight, I assume. That is an opportunity I know Jessamine with you would never pass up. I want to caution you, not against the market. That is not what I think of such things is and should be irrelevant. What I will caution you about is, and he drops his voice a bit, the commander of the Templars here. He is fresh from overseas, and I have attended that same school. And you can see that he's a sort of middle-aged human with just brownish hair and a kind of light beard that has a bit of gray in it. And he's just a sort of standardly handsome man but he has very green eyes, and there's some enough wrinkles and weathering that he has obviously spent time outside, and there's a weariness to him, and he says, there are doctrines, teachings coming out of Polara that I find troubling. And thus is how we all met previously. And you can pick up that he's alluding to why he's with the Redeemers. And he says, something about this Templar commander has me uneasy. So I merely wish to offer you are all unique in a way that Polara does not always tolerate. So I avoid him if you can.
I appreciate your candor in the matter.
So if nobody else has any business within the communion, we will pull back.
A quick clarification. Karis is in order of the Sun Cleric.
It's okay, he's one of the good ones.
My last question for Karis and for the communion as a whole is, why have this hall, and I ask this to Karis, why have this hall if there is a house of healing that I keep hearing referred to that is better equipped, more well-stocked, larger?
The House of Healing existed before the Ellis Lands joined the Empire. The Order of the Moon has taken the opportunity to staff it and has used that opportunity to turn the hall here from what would normally be a House of Healing in other places to an educational center.
Jaxiron narrows his eyes, like not fully, like feeling like there's probably more to this than is being said. Not necessarily that Karis is hiding it as much as like there are machinations here that he can't see.
Give me insight.
And Kazzra as well is suspicious, but cannot put his desiccated thumb on why. But I would feel that Kazzra's just always suspicious of organized faiths. Yeah, like specific.
What was the...
I'm actually, I said 6, but I'm actually going to use my heroic inspiration from Will and make that a 17.
Great, yeah. On that 17, you can tell that Karis himself is in a similar boat to you. There are machinations happening within the Austrian communion itself. The way he speaks about Polara, which you have now clocked is a continent away. There's the way that Polara is spoken of as something separate from this area, the Ellis Lowlands, but also Silver City. You hear the Empire, and then you also hear Polara. And to you, on that roll, this definitely strikes you as there is something happening here with an East versus West thing. With distance comes the desire for autonomy. Given to that, you've also picked up that the Ellis Lowlands was independent until a little over a century ago, and that they still firmly remember that. You also gather that the communion here, and Karis will actually show you, there are little books scattered throughout the pews. And these books contain the story of the prophet Eos and how he united the light faiths to fight back the beasts of the chasm. And he'll show you in the front of the book how throughout the Ellis Lowlands and throughout this area of the Empire, even up around Silver City and in the Saran Mountains, all of the places that are important to Eos' story happen here on this continent. But the faith is centered in in Polara, on a different continent, on the Ostris continent. And that because the Aostrian communion was founded by the first emperor of the Shining Empire, which was the Polaran Empire, that despite the fact that Eos's journey happened here, the faith is dictated from a continent away. And he closes the book and he says it might as well be a world away. Have fun at the Goblin Market tonight. He pats you guys on the back and stands up and leaves.
I've seen all I think I need to see here.
Yep.
With that, we will skip forward to the Goblin Market. You find yourselves escorted by a stoic Bronwyn who's like, I will say, the food at these things, clutch. Just don't eat anything with eyes intact, because you don't squishy.
Yeah, anything we need to know here? Like,
Yes. Like, is this also the type of traveler you are? You go from place to place and sample all of the foods, and that is the way.
Oh, I am absolutely that person. Yes. Yeah. So you know what? Let me pick out food for you. It's not like the stories. If you drink fairy wine, you're gonna get drunk fast, but it's not gonna. There's no compulsion on it, and also, even if there were, the amulets protect. They expect people to wear Rowan Berry, so it's really
I am
very.
sure your expertise will be invaluable in this. Thank you.
Yeah, you're great.
Also, we don't know any of the stories.
Yeah, true. You'll be fine.
Well, hardly any.
We'll be.
We made different stories.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You walk up to you, and like Jessamine is like doing circles around you. She's so freaking excited. She's like a toddler.
I place my hand out and I comfortably stop the gnome spinning around me. Like, should you be showing your excitement when you are going to be entering a place where you will need to haggle?
Right. I'll walk alongside you and be staid and sad.
Very well.
Somehow, she wiggles her fingers and makes her ears appear to droop. Like a sad puppy.
I love her so much.
There is little that I know of goblins, but of fae, I seem to recall that haggling is, and perhaps for goblins as well, is a large part of the experience in dealing with them.
Yeah, well, it's more bargain than it is haggle. You walk in along this thin path that leads into the forest that looms a little bit larger and a little bit darker than it had as dusk settles in. And flanked on this path are two stone lions. And they turn with a grinding sound, look at you, and say, "Friends, enter, market, come in, price." Jessamine says, "Right, it's always, you gotta leave a piece of yourself." Right, and she just plucks a hair from her head and feeds it to one of the lions. And you can see, like, sort of a shimmer appears and she walks through it. Bronwyn goes, "It's whatever a piece of yourself means to you. I wouldn't do anything major." She walks up to another lion and goes, and wipes the licked finger. She licks her finger and then she wipes it down one of the lions, who laps at her finger. And then there's a shimmering and she walks through.
I walk up and I inhale and I breathe a cloud of dust into one of the lion's face.
The lion does that cat sneeze. And the shimmer appears and you're able to walk through.
Will is not having this. He'll just walk up and go.
One of the lions gently bats at you, but the shimmer appears and you're able to walk through.
Pertinax walks up and kisses the lion on the head.
The lion purrs, shimmer appears, and you are able to walk through.
Jaxiron walks up and looks the lion in the eye.
Which cats love. Yeah.
Yeah. Flares his nostrils and kind of snorts at it.
Does any steam or anything come out?
Yeah.
The lion nods sagely. The glimmer appears, and you are able to walk through. Welcome to the Goblin Market. Bronwyn gestures ahead of her, and you can see that the path opens up. Again, sort of a circular round formation, like a big clearing. In the center of the clearing stands an improbably tall tree, like redwood tall. Like this massive tree that you did not see on your way into town and would have. And it's got these big branches that branch out, and amongst these branches are garlands of colorful lights that seem to move and shift. Bronwyn says, we can split up or stay together. We entered together, so by dawn, if some of us are still in here but some are out, we will be reunited. That's just how the magic of the market works. I don't know how. Not a wizard, not a fairy. But I will tell you, there's a bunch of different quarters. And Jessamine looks at her and goes, a bunch of different quarters? It's quarters. There's 4. It's like, fine, you tell them. Jessamine is, okay. It's a labyrinth. It's not like a maze. A labyrinth is all connected. So you have to walk the full path before you can get to the center. So you have to go through each one of the quarters before you can get to the center. You can't just go to the center, right? So first quarter has all the like exotic flora, potions, fortune tellers, bargain makers. Second quarter is all the martial contests, and that's where you'll find like a lot of the goblins that aren't like on duty in the forest. Archery competitions, they sell weapons and other goods and stuff like that. And then the third quarter is like trade stuff. And then fourth quarter is like where the food and drink is. And then you can get to the center where all the dancing is. And that's super cool. And sometimes you even see who the fairy patron of the market is. I don't know who this one is. But one time I got to see Caradwyn, and she had this massive cauldron, and it was the coolest thing. Anyway, I'm going to go, bye. And she darts off.
We'll catch up or we won't.
But Bronwyn, should we leave, how will we know what not to eat? No eyes, correct?
Yeah, but that's just because it's gross.
Oh, okay.
Everything here
is there one path? You said it's a...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll catch up. It's fine. Shall we?
All of the things that I told Jessamine about not being excited, I don't think any of it stuck.
She's grown, or as grown as she ever will be. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, she's like
Indeed.
30.
Yeah.
Like Bronwyn says, she's 30. She is a grown adult gnome, but she's a gnome. And she's Jessamine.
Right.
So good luck.
Just gnome things. It's fine. If this is what she wants to do, let her do it.
She's done fairy markets before, and she always comes away with the weirdest shit, and I don't know how she does it, but, you know. So she just kind of starts walking in, she waves you on.
Shall we saunter? Let us.
Yep. For the record, do we have all the crap we bought earlier? I'm assuming.
You have what you want to carry, and anything you didn't want to carry has been sent on by post to Silver City.
Cool.
Another question.
We'll put it on the cart.
How are we going to buy anything? We don't have any money.
She looks at you and goes, oh, the market doesn't operate on money. They're
Intriguing.
fey. It's bargains.
Right. Of course. Time to haggle.
You'll figure it out. I mean, think it through. Don't be dipshits, but, you know.
Yeah, can you imagine just like going up to like some unknown power and offering it like your soul or something? That'd be wild.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very-
don't tell your soul to things. That's generally bad vibes. She walks on. The first quarter that you start to walk through is it is very much a labyrinthian. Great. That winding path that winds through a quarter and then leads upward. And it's, there's colorful tents and displays. It's like an artist market on crack. It is, you can see there's cellars of like a very exotic flora, mushrooms. There's fortune tellers. Kazzra. One of the fortune tellers you pass sits with an antique map behind her that is of the cosmos. And this cosmos is centered within this triangle. And there's darkness beyond the triangle. And looking at this motif is going to trigger a memory for you.
Okay.
So as the market fades around you for a moment, you are standing, the kind of triangle kind of seems to zoom out in your vision until you are standing in a triangular hall. But it is narrow and dark. And the side walls kind of slope up to meet like a point in the middle, and there's doors recessed along in. The entire chamber is lit very dimly by a teal sort of arcane light. And there's a channel running down the center of the chamber with this. It's a long, thin channel of dark liquid. And it runs to a point in the hall that is clothed in shadow that even with dark vision you cannot quite see past. And beside you, there is not a visually older, but someone you know to be your elder in some sense. And it's a more female presenting figure, but much like yourself. Wrapped, robed, in simple robes, and masked. She wears a silvery mask that is engraved with an 8-pointed star within a circle. And she's speaking to you. And I think in this moment you feel some uncertainty about where you are, why you're down here, and just uncertainty about maybe what she's saying. But this is a new thing that you were hearing, and she's saying, it is, at its heart, simple. We talked to the others. We have given them names. Why not this one? There is a reason for everything in the cosmos, Kazzra the Persistent. Reason is the foundation of existence.
I would look at this figure and I go, yes, indeed, I agree. So why are we here then?
Because it must be done. And we need to convince the others. We talk to the divine. All aspects of it, save for this one aspect. We must... It can be done. She waves a hand and arcane lights grow brighter and they begin to fill the darkness at the end of the corridor. And at the end of the corridor, it's very far away, about 100 yards away. And so it should not appear as large to your vision as it does. But filling the wall at the end, there is a massive verdigreed bronze to the point of being almost solid green mask of a devil. Curved horns, and its mouth expression Its mouth is open and its expression is frozen in a scream of horror. And despite the light that lights up that end, there is a darkness that lays beyond the mouth that is so complete and so eternal a darkness that you can feel the chill from where you are standing. She looks at you and says, "It is worth debate. That is all."
With so much light, there must also be dark, yes?
Must there?
Balance in things?
Balance is not all.
On that, I believe you and I disagree.
The memory will fade. You are back within the Goblin Market.
I take a step back and I study and I approach the fortune teller.
It is a youngish, fawn-like being that says, "Fortunes?
Questions.
Questions, cards, fortunes. For answers, what would you give me?"
I think on it for a moment. A piece of ceremonial wrapping.
I will tell you 3 answers. For the scent, the memory of the scent.
As in, I will no longer have the memory and you will and I will forget? Or that you
That
wish?
is how gifts work.
Let's see. I stare at the map. And I rewrap the hand and I go, memories are in short supply for me at present. But I shall think in return. And I stare not at the fawn creature, but I try to memorize this cosmology. That sparked something. Maybe this cosmology is old, and that's when I get an idea in my head. I'm going to look around the night market, specifically at antique dealers. I'm looking for other things as well. I know what the runes on my mask look like. Do I see them anywhere? Anything even remotely like them when I'm walking around? Just Kazzra has a focus. That's all.
Yeah, I will let you know if you do. At this moment, you do not. Is there anything that anyone wants to do within this first quarter?
Remind me, what is the first quarter specifically again?
Exotic plants, potions, fortune telling.
The Mystic Quarter. I have nothing to do here.
Yeah, Kazzra at present has no business, but may come back. So
you move through. Bronwyn tells you the plants are pretty and they're gorgeous, and some people can keep them alive, but they're very tricky. They need more than... Listen, I had a cactus and I watered it too much, so clearly I'm not the person to ask for this, but they take, they're fae plants. They take weird stuff to keep them alive.
Feed me.
As you move into the second quarter, you can hear the sound of clacking sticks, cheers, clinking of coins. You round in, and this quarter is very much more populated by goblins. And you see there's people wandering through, but there's goblins, and there some kobolds and some smaller folk engaged in a specialized form of combat with fighting sticks. And you see other people watching demonstrations, and Bronwyn will explain to you that this is a goblin-specific form of combat. The kind of dexterity and stuff like that was kind of developed within goblin culture, and it's indeed this very fast, swirling, moving, leaping, acrobatic sort of combat that is just mesmerizing to watch. you can gather that people are actually betting actual coin on outcomes and stuff like that. The coins are interesting because they're not all metal. Some of them tend to they look like bone or other materials, and you get a sense that she explains this is currency that is specific to this goblin clan or the goblin clans, and she said the freemen of the plains don't have a really regulated currency, so it's largely a barter system, but they do trade on occasion, and the different things mean different. I don't know what the bone coins mean. I've never been able to figure it out. And you see across from the little arena where they're doing this martial art, there is a platform, and you see that two goblins are engaged in what player-wise you might think of as sort of a rap battle. But instead of that, each one is insulting the next in increasingly outlandish insults. Like, we're getting deep Shakespearean insult level here. And the more creative the insults, people cheer and other cheer. It's a sort of, she says, "Oh, this is Clan Silvertongue." This is what they're known for. They're really good at insults.
Relevant note, while we're in this quarter, I speak Goblin, so if any of them are conversing amongst themselves, I may be able to tell what they're saying. So
yeah, roll me perception if you...
22.
There are some older, you can see them like some goblin elders, right, that are gathered around a little campfire with their tankards. And they're very much the old men sit on porch variety, right? Or like an old-fashioned general store, the old men who would sit around the pot-bellied stoves gossiping. And they're sitting there, and you do pick up bits of conversation about how the market roads are closing. Like that the areas in which the markets can travel are getting smaller. And it's a little worrisome to them. You get the impression they make their gold and their living. They receive boons from the Fae in return for this protection on the road of the markets. And it was explained to you before you entered probably that the goblins are selected to guard the markets because goblins have the unique ability to move in similar ways to how the Fae move through the world, which is, Jessamine described it as sideways. Which to some may make sense and to others may not. But in this moving sideways through the world, the goblins are those that can move like regular people move, or they can move sideways. They're kind of they have Fae ancestry. And Jessamine says some gnomes do too. I haven't figured it out. My family's not really figured out, but some do. So, the goblins are concerned that these boons that they get for guarding these markets and things like that are going to dry up because the Fae will have less power. The less they can bargain with people, the less power they will have. So, they are concerned. Everybody give me perception. Jax, I'll let your roll stand.
Archetype point.
Jesus Christ.
13.
21.
Awesome. All right.
Not an archetype.
Will, I think
What? Huh?
you start to walk in a direction, and I think Kazzra,
I walk backwards in the labyrinth somehow. Yeah, like
you clock that Will is about to walk into somehow the range of a beast within a paddock that looks maybe like Will might not want to get super close.
Reach out very quickly and grab Will by the shoulders, move Will back, and point to indicate where they were about to go.
Thank you.
There is a.
Do you have any bacon
paddock.
left?
Yes, I do. Here.
I take a piece of bacon, break it in half, eat half of it, and toss the other half to the beast.
It's
good, right?
It's like a very large lizard dinosaur. In this paddock, you see there are a number of different beasts with saddles. A goblin man with loose-fitting trousers, and he kind of pulls one and goes, "Hey, you want to ride? You want interested? You interested in a new steed? I got. Ooh, let's see. I got jackalopes, and indeed, you see very large rabbit-like creatures with big antlers. I got the fang deer, fangs. I got pukas. Right now, they look like kind of nightmare unicorns, but like, I got nightmares. I got selkies. I got elementipedes. Elementipedes are great. They move.
What about the rest of the alphabet?
What's that?
At the speed of what?
Gossip.
Yeah, that tracks. That's fast.
Pertinax just leans over and says, "If you get a pet here, I will eat it," and walks away.
Oh, they're not good eating. They're for riding. The elementipedes, he points to, look like a cross between an elephant and an anteater.
Yep.
I let out one of my signature long sighs and turn my head and walk away.
Huh? Yeah. And Bronwyn comes
Got any pun dogs? Yeah, hold on.
Bronwyn
I can't afford one. I'm not a pun dog millionaire, so.
The cost for these is maybe a little more dear than you would really want to pay. Come on.
A little more fang deer than you want to pay?
Very cute.
There are weapons for purchase. You can see there's different swords made of various unlikely materials.
Go on.
It's like a sword made of wheat, like braided wheat.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There's weapons made of shells and different animal tusks and various different things. Ron will tell you the price for this is tough.
What do you,
Do the goblins accept gold? Their wares.
For basic enchanted weapons, yeah. But we can honestly probably get those for cheaper in Silver City. The rest require... You'll notice, like, the places with the weirdest weapons are staffed by various fey creatures.
I look over and I see that there's a sword hanging, in a place of pride, and it's made out of some sort of strange clear material, but I look at the label and it says tears. It's like, no, not quite what I was looking for.
Next to it is also teeth.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, in the T section of the sword shop. That tracks. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a long tooth. I mean...
It's made of smaller teeth. Yeah.
Made of many smaller teeth, yeah.
It's a gestalt sword.
I think you didn't hear me. I said teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still muted.
I'm just whispering. I'm just muttering how much I love the concept of a sword made of many small teeth.
Yeah, well, what people don't know about Teeth Fairy is they're actually armorers. Which is really think about
from behind small fairy covered in armor made of teeth goes,
teeth, yeah.
You get it! Finally, someone realizes. You want a helmet?
Do you have one made of teeth?
I'm a fucking tooth fairy, yeah.
Right, okay.
I got one made of dragon tooth that will only cost you, let me see here, 2 memories of your most precious love.
You can have all of my memories of my precious love.
Nah.
Can I deception check?
Yeah.
Great. 13. Actually, 13.
you're gonna have to get higher. They
Worth a
get
shot.
15 or higher.
Let's say, yeah.
You
now-
almost got him. He's like, you almost had me.
You can't blame a boy for trying. I mean,
I know, that was good. That was good. And he claps teeth together that are like gloved and molars.
perhaps I'll find something later in the shop that I love, come back, trade that to you.
It's good. It's good. I like you. I like you. You using all those teeth?
I mean, at present,
All right.
actually, you know what? Actually, I've got a line on some teeth that are currently not being, and I'd sort of describe like there's a copse in the woods. And I was like, I could give you more specifics if that'll get me something.
They gotta be given by the person whose teeth they are.
Oh, this is like okay.
I was about
And
to
you
go
can't
to
take
Will,
a current
like,
dead.
where are you going with this?
It seems like a common thing in this area. Apparently, can't steal things from the dead around here, which is weird.
Oh, we can steal things from the dead. I just can't make stuff from it.
Oh, okay. Be willingly given teeth. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else within
The
this
gears
book?
are churning. Yeah, I'm good.
I would like to find a charm that is used for balance that can be affixed to my weapon.
That is something that you would have been able to get in the first quarter.
Okay,
So we can say that's fine.
sure.
That cost you, you had to sneeze 3 times into a glass bottle with your Dragonboard steam.
Okay, fair enough.
The charm it's a charm that can be affixed. It is a little bone carving of a mountain goat.
Love it.
I'm going to poke my head into any sort of armor shop. I'm assuming I do not see... Nothing strikes Will as being like, oh, this is mine, right? Like that sense of like connection to it.
Roll me a d20. Above 10 is what you want.
I'm going to roll it. 16.
Buried in the back, in a pile of kind of old and moldering leather and various things, a little gleam catches your eye.
Okay. I'll go over and I pay the shopkeep no mind. Basically, if they're like, can I help with anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. And I go over to the, discarded item pile. There's kind of a recurring theme here, maybe.
Yeah, it's a rummage pile, yeah.
Rubbish. You find the best deals there.
You have an eye for the lost and the overlooked. That's not a bad thing.
So what was overlooked here?
This gleam you pull out, the leather is cracked and dry and flaked and ancient and practically dissolves into dust at your touch. But above the leather wrap, there is a bracer made of a clearish substance edged in gold. And this clearish substance carries with it the warmth at your touch of a sunlit window.
Perfect. I haul it up and I sort of I'm going to start sort of affecting a bit of a performance here of like, oh, this looks interesting. What is this? Not, I'm gonna get this. A glint from this caught my eye. What is this?
The shopkeep is actually the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, it's the same shop. Okay.
Same shop. It didn't seem like it when you walked into a different tent.
Yeah, it's like a whole
Same shop. It's like how you want there to be different shops at Disney World, but you walk in and it's all one shop.
It's actually all connected. Son of a, this is all Pirates of the Caribbean. These are the same pins they have over there. This is bullshit.
Right. And the fairy drifts over, goes, yeah, I think it's a very thin sliver of dragon tooth. Maybe.
Huh.
But I'm not sure. I can't do anything with it. It wasn't given to me. I just found it. So I can only have it and bargain it, but I can't make anything from it.
Okay.
Does everything in here have teeth in some capacity?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Again, turns around and this is like a pixie-sized.
Oh yeah, no, small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a tooth fairy.
This is
Yes.
So I mean, if this is of no use to you,
Yes.
what would you want for it?
Ooh.
Bear in mind, I want to keep all of my teeth. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let me make you an offer. I don't have much. As you can see, and he gestures to like his relatively raggedy clothes he's still wearing and so forth. And he says, I don't have a lot to offer, but what I can offer is a service. Let me offer you the service. I'm strong of back. I'm reasonably strong of mind. I will carry something for you. I will carry a memory you wish to not burden yourself with temporarily. I will carry a tooth you may not want to have with you. I will carry a truth you don't want to have with you also.
Oh. That's good. And this little fairy grows somber for a minute and says, the world seems to narrow for a minute to just the two of you. And it leans forward and says, there is a memory. It's heavy, it's bad. I can't fly as high. Do you think you can carry it?
I will carry it until you tell me that you want it back.
Okay. And leans forward and takes the molar off its hand, and it's very pale, white, yellowish hand. Puts it between your eyes. I'm gonna need you to make me a Constitution save, and the DC on this is gonna be a 15.
I'm going to use my heroic inspiration since I still have one. Nope, 12.
This memory drives you to your knees. This is a memory of when the world shattered.
Oh.
This is a memory of the cataclysm.
Okay. All right.
It's hard to make out details. Or rather, only details are what you can make out. It is hard to grasp the enormity of the utter destruction. There is bright light, a noise that shakes bones, screams, fire, shaking earth. Everything gone in instants. Rumbling, shaking, raising ground, lowering ground, floods, fires, screams and gurgles and blood and viscera and such chaos. And through it all, this feeling of hunger so unfathomable that it transcends everything you know of hunger. And in this, on that failed Constitution save, this is indeed a very heavy burden for anyone, much less this small pixie. You're going to take a level of exhaustion.
Yep.
And I think it's going to take you a minute to really come back to yourself.
Yeah.
And kind of, there is an element of you, I think, that is this soldier-trained element that knows how to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
That knows how to fold those horrors away into a tiny box that will only open in the deepest of sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
We all watch Will fall down.
Yeah, collapse down. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I think there is a level of stoicism, perhaps, that he handles it with, rather than just like, right, like he's like shaken to his knees, or maybe just to the one, but he handles it as well as one might handle a heavy burden. But clearly, it is a heavy thing that's been placed upon him.
Go ahead and give me an insight, Kazzra, or anyone else who wants to.
15.
Same.
With each of you having that 15, I think that you will clock that Will is a man. This is not the first heavy burden he has borne. This is not the first painful thing he has borne. This is not. He is someone that has been trained to carry and exist through the unfathomable. You see the fairy glows a little brighter, and indeed, there's an ephemeral sense of it's so much lighter. Like it rather than hovering, it floats. Like there definitely is a sense of weight lifted off of this being. And you have your bracer.
I approach Will and put my hand on his shoulder and just go, "Are you okay?"
It takes him a beat to sort of acknowledge. He says, I'll be all right. Everything will, I'm told, be all right.
I step back and give him space.
You see those runes. They're etched in the gold around the bracer. It's not a spell. It's not anything arcane. It's just a name.
What's the name?
It says everything will be all right.
I keep this to myself. I clock it for a moment until we leave this place. And at that time, I'll tell Will what I see on this bracer.
You mean this place like the Goblin Market, or this place like the shop?
The shop.
Okay.
I will point to my mask, and I will point to the runes, and I will point to your bracer. And I will say, notice some similarities?
It appears to be the same form, same script. Not the same characters, but the same. This is more your area than mine, but it appears to be the same language in some form.
Do I think I wrote it?
It's an interesting question. You can run your thumb over it for a moment, and it doesn't spark any memory of having engraved it.
Okay. No, but it was written by somebody who understands a specific type of soul crafting, which is what this is. And that is a memory I do have. That is knowledge that does not go away. That is inherent to my being. There's this mask and this script, which I can create on any metal. Specifically, this script and looking down and seeing that someone has done the same on yours is an intriguing prospect.
Indeed.
Let's keep our eyes open. Perhaps we'll spy something else here, written in such a script.
So, leaving the second quarter with your prize, your steps feel a little heavier than they have, but it is nothing you are not used to bearing. And in time, you doubt you will notice. You enter the third quarter, and this quarter is for trade goods. And these trade goods are something else. Largely garments. You see very fantastical garments spun from vendors claiming spider silk and armor made of beetle shells and cloaks of dragonfly wings and various and sundry strange ephemera items. There is a vendor selling bags of colorful, small, almost bean-shaped objects within a bag. There's various weird gnomish apparatuses. There's all sorts of things throughout.
Where would I find a spell focus? Would that have been in the previous, or will that be coming up?
You could probably find one here.
Okay. All right. Yes, I keep my eye out for spell foci of any kind, since I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm
I
likely
have
looking for similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do not have one currently.
I'm also looking out for cloaks, enchanted cloaks of any kind, or things that can place enchantments on cloaks, brooches and clasps, things like that may be used to enhance such beautiful goods with small enchantments, minor things.
Yeah, I think you can definitely find various pins and sundry. This quarter is one part junk shop and one part fairy couture. Like, it's kind of intermixed in different areas. There's definitely a tent that has various carved wands or crystal focuses, bone focuses, all sorts of magic things. And you do see, like, crowded around this stall are actually several different people who are all trying to bargain for arcane goods. Like, you actually see a couple of orcs standing next to each other, just like, well, if you hadn't stepped on my focus last week, I wouldn't have to bargain away our son's tears from their first nightmare, would I?
Then I make my way over to that place and I just take a look at what they have. Specifically, I'm keeping my eye out for anything of resistance, fire specifically, but anything else that can grant a cloak, just an ability to soak different elemental damage. So I know such things do exist, but to put it in game terms as opposed to player knowledge, that is what Kazzra is seeking. So,
yeah, there's
possibly
definitely
a cloak made of dragon scale. I don't know what would be available, but maybe there is something that has resistance.
Oh, there's certainly a cloak made of dragon scales. There's several different ones made of dragon scales. They are very dear.
Right.
Those cost times of service. There are also, like, clasps and
right.
brooches and things of that nature. Some that have gems instead of dragon scale.
Okay.
The gems are kind of color-coded to it, and it's pretty obvious to pick out which are which element. But there's assortment of them and other conditions and various things like that.
I'm looking through items that would be useful for a spell focus and just kind of looking for something interesting that jumps out at me. I figure, thinking, I'll know it when I find it.
Yeah, I think as you sort of dig through it, there's an interesting piece that you see that is a piece of rutilated quartz. And if you're not familiar with this stone, it's a quartz crystal, but it has darkened bands of usually tourmaline or some other mineral within it. It looks like there's something about it to you that reminds you of a swamp in the winter, right? A frozen lake that has sticks and things in it. And that feels familiar. That feels weighty to you in a way. And this piece of rutilated quartz is carved into a skull. And it has a flat back that can be like a cabicon. Is that what you call those? It can be set into something.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can attempt to purchase this.
Yeah. You go to the sort of the purveyor of this is a hobgoblin. But this hobgoblin is very exotically patterned, and basically looks like someone took a hobgoblin and dipped them in Lisa Frank ink. And says, "A friend, you found an item."
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
And he looks at you, and he takes a moment, and he really looks at you, and he says, yes. And he looks at what you're holding in your hand and says, "Give me an insight check."
That's the wrong die. That's going to be a failure. I don't even think I have to look at my sheet for it. Yeah, it's a 5.
Yeah, his tone just kind of changed. Whatever. He says, "Well, for you, let's make that a simple trade. May I have one of your hair beads?"
Yeah? Any particular one? Or
I don't. The lightest one.
kind of feels through his braids and picks out one that's kind of looks like it's made out of bone. So it's quite light. It's a little porous looking. This work?
Certainly.
Oh, there you are.
Thank you. He looks at it in his hand, swallows, goes, not swallows the bead, just kind of, as he looks, kind of, wonderful. Enjoy.
Yeah. That was easy.
Yeah, wait, hold on. What am I doing? That was way easier. That was easy.
Kazzra, have you found what you're looking for?
I believe I have. I will hold up a brooch of what I believe was fire resistance, and I will say, "And how much for this?"
He looks at you and says, "What do you..." Kind of like waves his hands over. You feel a light warmth of magic, but nothing invasive. He goes, "You also need a spell focus, don't you?"
I do.
And he pulls out, carved into a just a simple round column of red jasper, which is a stone that is very. Actually, I think I have one right here. It's this sort of reddish orange crystal that is very reminiscent of a desert sunset. And he says, "Crystals make the best focus." And he tucks it in and he says, "This and the brooch together. Let me see. I'd like to see your face." Your old face.
You will need to help me, as I do not remember my old face. This is the only face I remember.
See if we can fix that. He kind of reaches forward, and are you pulling off your mask?
I pull off my mask to show him the skeletal structure of what I have left.
He pulls those tendrils of magic that come out.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
kind of picks at one, pulls it out, wraps it, and kind of looks like he's tying a knot. And then holds up a mirror, silver-backed glass, and you see for the briefest moment what your old face looked like. Do you want to describe it? Do you want me to describe it?
That is a really good question, and not something that I had thought of. I will give it to you.
I think the most interesting thing that strikes you is that it's completely nondescript. It's
remarkable in its unremarkableness.
yeah, it is. If you had been more feminine presenting, you would have been described as mousy. It's the face of a scholar. It is heavy browed and unremarkable nose, unremarkable mouth, skin that is somewhat the shade of parchment, brown haired. But there's, in that brief moment where you see this sort of unremarkable face, there is something that strikes you that is not the look of the face, but the feeling of the face. And that is an expression. And that expression is one of joyful wonder. And then that impression fades. And
I take the items.
he nods and he says, I would not dare cheat the desert wind.
The light in my eyes kind of narrows a bit, and I place the mask back on with a sort of a sound of howling winds and a slight amount of like screaming in the distance as it connects back onto my face. And I appreciate your insight.
I appreciate your patronage.
Gather my items, and I make my way.
We move on to the fourth quarter, which is food and drink, and you find Bronwyn nestled in a table, just chock-a-block with roasted meats and tea that pours itself into cups made of flowers and cakes and just all manner of wondrous food. And she's like, chow down!
How many teeth did this cost you?
Oh, no, they take gold here.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Chomp in.
I was a little worried.
I sit and I pull out my small book and ink, and I begin to draw my face as best I can and take some memory of it, noting that as I stare more as I'm rendering it, how I feel that perhaps what was remarkable about me was when this happened after this. I just continue to sketch, sort of ignoring the food for now.
Give me... Everyone roll me perception.
18.
16.
16 as well.
7.
Will, food.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are like Bronwyn, laser focused on food. The rest of you this fourth quarter where you are with the food and drink, you are very close to the center. You can see just around then there's the music is increasing and dancing and laughter are happening. And on a table closest to the band, where it moves. You can actually see as this path opens up to the trunk of this improbable tree. And just beyond the tree, there sits a very cheerfully decorated sort of cottage hut. Looks like a little one-room place. There's a fence around it that's punctuated by something pale that you can't quite make out at this distance. And the band is in front of it, and they're playing, and people are dancing in this center around the tree. And on a table closest to that area, Jessamine is dancing on a table, having the time of her little life, with what appears to be a skeletal horse, clothed in white and bedecked with ribbons and holly. There's an interesting thing that you have noticed in this market, and that is when different fae that have a seasonal appearance pass through, they briefly change the foliage around to match that of their sort of assumed season. Temperature, scents, memories, like warmth, like ephemeral things, not anything specific, but, you know, like as you see this creature dance on this table, for a moment you can taste on your tongue spiced cake and warm spiced wine, mulled wine, and honey, and things. You can smell evergreen, things that you associate with a winter solstice. And you notice that as this horse moves with these pinpoints of light within its skull, it notices you four. And it perks up for a moment, and then it starts to wander closer to you.
I stop sketching and I look up at it.
Jessamine follows in its wake. And as it approaches with her, she says, she kind of tilts her head. She says, I guess this is the Mary Lloyd, and she wants you to follow her. She tilts her head again, and the horse skull kind of looks like it would be whispering in her ear. She says, the patron of this market wants to meet you guys.
Well, I don't believe we can say no to such a generous invitation, then, can we?
I was about to say the same.
Bronwyn kind of swallows the cake she's eating and goes, yeah, it wouldn't be wise. All of us? And then Mary Lloyd shakes her head from side to side.
Nay.
Almost lost it there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I hate you, but that was good. So if you follow. You follow?
I do, but
without hesitation.
Oh yeah,
I grabbed myself a drink though on the way out.
Yeah, that's legit. Just right in the eye hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Mary Lloyd dances up, kind of prances.
Canters, yeah.
Canters. Well, this is definitely a prancing.
Oh, yeah.
I do my best to kind of like fall in step with the Mary Lloyd as we're going, and like make it into a dance line.
Congo line. As you approach the center and you move through the dancing crowds, and you see around the center of this massive improbable tree to this cheerfully painted hut. This hut is surrounded by a wooden fence upon which the sharpened ends are stuck fey lanterns made of skulls. Light shines out from these skulled eyes. And in the small yard beyond this fence, there's a young woman sitting with her. As you approach the front of it, she's sitting off to the side, and she's got a big container, and she's avidly separating the wheat from the chaff in a basket of grain. On those perception rolls, because they were so good, I'll let them stand. And you see that there's a small kind of coal black being that is all spindliness that looks like charred wood, like charcoal. Like it's made out of charcoal with this bushy beard that just dribbles soot everywhere. You can see the girl, probably a young teenager, blonde with the hair braided down in these beautifully patterned clothes. She takes bits, she reaches into a pocket in her apron, takes bits of bread, tucks it down to this creature. This creature darts forward, waves a hand, and more of the wheat is separated from more of the chaff. So he's helping her do this faster. And this cottage has wonderfully painted shutters and things in these folk patterns. And in front of the gate, the fence gate, stand 4 knights. One is dressed in red, one is dressed in black, one is dressed in silver, and one in yellow. Beautifully ordained and made out, and they nod and say, "The mistress of the market wishes to speak to you 4. And one holds up, the silver one holds up a finger and goes, "Not the Lockland pony." And the Mary Lloyd kind of droops, scowled sadly, like gives an exaggerated sort of shrugging motion and prances back to the dancing.
What? It's okay. You can meet them later. You don't have to have a long face now. It's fine.
The knight
I stop and I turn towards Will and I go, "You continue making such jokes, you're going to get us into trouble one day."
Who doesn't love horses? I mean, come on, they're fun.
There's a moment where I don't know that you've ever been reprimanded before for making jokes. I don't know that you've made a lot of jokes in your life.
Yeah, but say this whole this is kind of a novel experience here.
Yeah. So the cottage door swings open. You are invited to enter.
Enter.
Did I do it?
I do.
In the cottage, which is indeed one room, but it seems to, everywhere you look, seems to have a new part of the cottage that you look at. So you get a sense that this space is a space that is mutable.
Bigger on the inside.
Different on the inside. There's, in the, on the back wall, though, there is one part that does not change, and that is the stove. The stove is a unique stove that I think Pertinax will sort of recognize as a stove. The rest of you may not have seen a stove of this variety. It's a very large, rectangular structure that looks like a bread oven, and it has a fire underneath, and it has an upper level where you slide in your baking goods, and then but it extends back, and there's a chimney that comes up from it, and then there's also a space on top of the oven. And Pertinax, in the moment, you know that there are steps that carved into the wood here that lead up to where one can use the top of the oven as a platform, as a bed. And this is a spot that is reserved for respected elders in a family, or the ill, generally elders. And there is, on top of this stove, there is a mess of blankets, just an absolute nest of blankets, out of which peers a very large, round, orange eye. And this puts you all in mind of an owl. This is just a large orange eye that stares at you and goes, around you. Everyone roll me perception.
Is it just an eye, like just floating
That's
there?
all that is visible right now.
Okay.
20.
On that 20, this creature is displeased with you. And there is nothing you can do about it. There is a heavy, oppressive sense of power in this room. And as this eye stares balefully out from this pile of blankets, and the blankets shift, another eye appears as this being starts to pull out from these blankets. The walls seem to kind of cave in. Everything narrows to this being's stare. And
I meet the stare, unflinching.
She reaches up a clawed hand and pulls back the blankets. You see there is an almost archetype of a crone. Very old woman. But power emanates from her bones. And in a flash of owl feathers, she is no longer on top of the stove, but standing in front of you. And she says, "World Shapers!"
Well, if there was ever any doubt, I kind of look at everybody as we were sort of on the fence.
Ancient fools, slumberers! She waves a hand, and you are encased in a dome of silence. Ancient fools, architects of these sundered realms, this broken world! She gnashes teeth that are ironclad in just absolute fury. I cannot leave! The doors to the realms are closed because he cannot be allowed to come in. We cannot leave because he cannot come in. And it is your fault. It's yours. And she, in her rage, swells up to fill the inside of this cottage. And all of you feel those amulets on your chest grow warm. She goes, bah! Slices her hand another direction, and you are no longer standing in this cottage. And Jaxiron, you feel, on that 20, you realize these flashes of magic are coming so fast and so hard. This is an ancient being. This is a powerful, primal being. And you are no longer in this cottage. In fact, you are no longer at the fairy market. You are standing at the gates of the city, and it is dawn. Everybody give me another perception roll. You are no longer silenced, by the way.
19.
13.
Hot rolls.
10.
Will, you are befuddled.
Today's been rough, man.
Rough, man.
He's still like going like, I just watched the world end, and also there's a hag yelling at me. Like,
Pertinax, there is some kind of kerfuffle happening in the central plaza. You can see it from this gate. Like, people are coming out of their houses and heading towards the central plaza. There are some bells ringing. Like, it sounds like the town is being summoned.
Something's going on. Point out to everybody else. Let's go see what's happening.
Indeed. Let's make our way.
Bronwyn goes, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, okay, let's go. Pertinax, on that 19, you also notice your amulet is cracked. And if you look at the rest of them, everyone else's is also cracked.
Oh yeah, these are probably not good anymore. I think those are done. I think we might have put those through.
Clasp on my brooch, make sure my spell focus is in my pocket and accessible that I just acquired, and pulled off the broken one and put it away.
A city gathering has been called. You can you pick up murmurs from people around that there's no one knows really why. But there's also a lot of yelling coming from the central plaza. And as you walk in, there's been a wooden dais that's been set up by the fountain. And the Lord Keeper stands on it. calming people down and saying, we have no evidence that the Goblin Market is responsible for your stolen cattle. We have no evidence. And he's saying all this stuff, and people are yelling things like, what about our children? He's like, there has never before been a documented case of anything happening. And behind him, the Templar Commander Forte walks up onto the platform, and Lord Cyril turns to him and says, "Oh, good. You are the keeper of the laws. You've the Order of the Sun. Please, let's go about this in a calm, rational, and lawful manner." The Templar commander nods, and he kind of pats a hand on the Lord Keeper's back. And he turns to the crowd and he says, "Yes, the laws must be followed. As the Patriarch of the Communion has declared, in the Prophet's guidance, the shadows can no longer be allowed to strengthen. The old alliances are declared moot, and those who upheld him traitors to the Empire who will face imperial justice. And faster than anyone can quite move, he steps behind the Lord Keeper, places his hands on the Lord Keeper's shoulders, and says, 'And here I am the arbiter of this justice.' And he snaps the Lord Keeper's neck. And that's where we'll end this episode.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
I had a feeling he wasn't getting out of this one alive.